could go, didn't go wrong, however.
How you fucking doing? I came back from Melbourne, Australia. It's great to be here. Thanks for coming early.
Back to another episode of Jacksonville Metal Militia. I am your host, Stephen Van Terra, and with us, as always, is Jose Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap Brunette, and our special guest host today is going to be Brandon from Savannah's Heaviest, Ars Goetia, and our very, very, very special guest tonight, one of my favorite bands, is Matt Young from the Mighty King Parrot. How we doing?
Good, thanks, brother. Thanks for having me on.
Oh man, I'm glad that you're back. I love it. So, I see that you guys just got off tour with Gwar and Soulfly, brother. I want to talk about that. I want to know how that went for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was it was an incredible experience. It was a real special tour. This one, it was a really unique experience. You know, getting to see Gwar do their thing, and just being able to see how their operation runs, because they're such a cool and unique and legendary band, and you know, just being able to be there firsthand and see how they operate, and the amount of effort and work that goes into a show of that size, and the way that they prepare. And I mean, there's so much stuff that they have to do to get that show happening the way that they have it happening every single night, and all of the little obstacles that they have at different size venues. And you know, sometimes it's a bigger show, and sometimes they have to like change it to make it a little bit smaller, and the way that they work around it all. And they're just all super professional, really cool, great people. And you know, we felt super welcome, and everyone just like got along so well on that tour. And I mean, we've been friends with the Soulfly guys for a long time, and you know, I've done stuff with Max Cavalera before on Soulfly record. I did some guest vocals years ago, and we've toured in Europe together before. And you know, whenever they come out to Australia, or we go through Arizona, when we're you know, we always catch up with them. And one of my really good friends, Mike, is playing guitar for Soulfly now, and we just had Derek Engerman playing bass for us, and he and Mike played together in Phil and the Illegals. And so it was just like a big family thing going on. It was a really cool tour to be a part of. It went really well.
So question. I know that locally, and Brandon could probably jump in on this, right? Locally, lugging your stuff around is one thing, right? You probably have a trailer or someone's car, you know, whoever has the biggest vehicle. But when you're doing stuff overseas, every time you come to the States, you know, how do you feel in reference to, for example, you know, you guys got one bass, two guitars, a drum set. I know guys that they have to hold on to their guitar everywhere they go. You know, for you guys, do you guys are the same way? Do you guys check it in? Obviously, you're not going to bring a drum set, you know. I don't know if you're flying coach or first class, but you can't bring a drum set with you. But like, how do you guys work all that stuff out? The logistics, anyway.
We have like, you know, we have some endorsements and stuff. So we own our own gear. We have our own gear in America. We have a full back line and everything there, and we have it. We leave it in storage when we're over here. And yeah, we bought it. I don't know. We bought a really nice drum kit years ago that we still use, and we recently got some new guitar cabs and some new bass cabs and stuff, because some of the gear that we had we'd been using it for, you know, best part of 10 years. So we got some new cabs and stuff recently.
Best part of 10 years. That's when you know you got good equipment.
Yeah, well, we were doing PV stuff for a while, We've still got a few PV amps, but we started using a guitar amp brand called Head First, which um, he's actually a guy from Melbourne who makes these guitar amps, and he is well known, respected in the amp community for doing mods on Marshall amps and stuff like that.
Okay.
And he started his own company here in Melbourne called Head First, and he made a custom amp for the producer Joe Barresi. If you're familiar with Joe Barresi, he's a pretty famous,
Hmm.
American producer, done lots of amazing stuff. So he made this amp called the Evil Joe, and we used that on the new album. We really like the guy at our studio where we recorded suggested that we give it a try, and we were like, "Fuck, that sounds amazing!"
Right
So
on.
we love that, and he's actually started making stuff in America. He's got a workshop and works with another amp company that does that stuff. So we were able to get some new cabs through them and all that. So yeah, we were kind of stoked with that. So that's a little backstory into some of the guitar stuff that we're using now, which is really cool. And we're super happy about using an Australian company and an Australian made amps and stuff, which is something, we've got Australian made custom guitars as
Good.
well. And, we like to do that kind of thing too.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome because I mean, when you're bringing it to the States, people are going to ask, "Hey, it sounds amazing." Like, he's already saying yes because you know what I was going to say, and then they're going to ask, "Hey, where can I get one?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're available all over the States now. The Head First stuff. They're killer amps.
Hell yeah.
These guys, he's not messing about. He's a heavy hitter. He's
Hell
really
yeah.
good.
Now, Matt, I did see where I think you were on the tour bus, your little RV you did a little tour of. I seen that. And
Oh yeah, the
what?
digital tour bus thing.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. I dug that. That was super awesome. And I
Yeah.
noticed a couple things in there. One of the main things that you had to have that was an essential on the trip was French onion dip. And I go, oh, that's right up my alley. I was like, bro, it was the same brand I use. Like, yeah, dude, he's got it. And you pointed out, what was it, Reese cups? They should be banned. I'm like, no, but because they're so good, But yeah. So how was that experience, man? What is some of your favorite snacks on your tour besides those two?
Oh man, yeah. Well, the peanut butter cups have always been a problem. Once you start on those things, it's like it's all over.
Gets addicting really
But yeah,
quick, doesn't it?
yeah, oh, man, they're just so good. It's like I have to stay away from that shit. But we have like we always love the French onion dip. Just like getting the CC's or the Doritos, supreme cheese with a bit of French onion dip, man. There's nothing better than that. So
Yeah.
we've always got that on the rider. That's a must every day. But oh man, what other stuff? I mean, we get bored so much stuff. There's so many sweet things and
Yeah.
things that like people will bring us gifts, and it's like wow. I mean, it's so kind and thoughtful that people will bring us stuff, but also most of it's really unhealthy.
Yeah. For sure.
So what's
Oh, yeah.
what's the coolest thing
Things
you've
to
ever
do
gotten?
is try and be healthy on the road.
What was that?
What's
Jose?
the coolest thing you've ever gotten as a gift?
Hey,
The coolest thing you've ever gotten as a gift.
well, there's this lady that comes to our shows in Detroit, and she like brings us like a hamper every time we come. She just brings this full hamper, and one time she bought um like this Detroit hamper, and it had like all this, like it had like maple syrup, and it had a Detroit beanie, it had some Detroit socks, had a little bag, that like a little shopping bag that said I've got people in Detroit, and all these snacks, like I had a bottle of whiskey in there. She might have had some like edibles and stuff like that.
Wow.
And
Wow.
there was lots of snacks and things
Damn.
that was local to Detroit. So she's awesome. She does that for every time we come through now. It's like she's done it like 4 or 5 times. So
Oh, yeah.
it's so cool. And then we have
That's a
people
high
bring us
bar, Steve.
dinner.
We're gonna really have to create something. Just show up with a dump truck of lamb or something. Like, hey, man, it's for you,
we got
you
to work
guys.
that out, buddy.
Please sacrifice as much of. Not yet, Brandon. Hold on. Go ahead. Go ahead, Matt. Sacrifice them all. Go for it.
We had a
But
we
yeah,
had a buddy we had a buddy once in Texas. He bought us like 100 tacos in like an esky. He just bought 100 tacos. I was like, okay, unreal. So we all just pigged out. That was great.
Yeah.
Lots of,
So
I mean, it's
I
always
see
great.
you. I see you went down to Savannah, which I was wanting to get up there and check that out because I knew Brandon here was up there, and I was like, damn, maybe he's going to do it. And I didn't get a chance to come up there. How was that show up in Savannah, Georgia?
That was a good one, man. That was like the second show of the tour. We did a couple headliners. We played in New Orleans, and then we played in Savannah, and then we went up to Richmond, Virginia. That's where we started the tour with Gwar.
Right.
And it was good for us to be able to kind of get a couple of little headliner warm up shows in, because we had, like I said, we had Derek Engerman playing bass for us on this tour, and we wanted to just make sure that he was ready to rock and roll once we started playing the bigger shows. So that was great. But yeah, Savannah was awesome, man. What a great little part of the world. It's like I had a great day there. It was cool hanging out and walking around and checking it all out. We had a good time. That was a really good one. I remember it. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, Brandon, you were, and again, weren't you supposed to be playing that show?
Yes, yeah, we were asked to play it, and just due to time constraints and what day of the week it was on, we weren't available to do it, which really sucks because I would have loved to have been there and played with you.
Yeah.
So that would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, whenever Brandon here came down to Jacksonville, man, and we were at a festival that they had done. Yeah, and I'm gonna try to give you the quick version of it. A couple bands came on before him, and then me and my other partner David was out in the patio, and we're talking to a few other cats, and we hear this band come on, and we look at each other and we go, "Do you hear this?" And they absolutely killed the entire. I mean, like, and it's no disrespect to none of the other bands out there because everybody was great who was out there. I mean, everyone was actually very good for the style that they were playing, but they were probably the heaviest band by large and far, And it was one of those things where it's like one of the guys came up, or one of the other bands was like, I'd really hate to be the band that follows these guys. And I was like, Jesus Christ, But yeah, so that would have been. I felt like that whenever I knew you guys were coming to Savannah, I was like, God, I really hope Argueta is playing with them because that would be such a brutal show, So that was very enticing for me. But again, I had to work, and I was still trying to find ways to get up there to see Gwar and Soulfly in the Carolinas because those are the three closest spots, So, but again, life happens, and never seen Gwar before. That would have been an amazing set, to see all three together. That would have been kind of like a bucket list deal right there,
Yeah, man, it was a good tour. Like every band brought something unique to the tour package, and obviously we're on the more extreme end, and Soulfly do their thing, which is they've got a huge following and all of that sort of stuff, and then Gwar just. Yeah, I mean, the Gwar show is just such a cool thing. Everyone walks out covered in blood, and it's just so fucking cool. Like it's unreal what they do, and I got the utmost respect for both of those bands. There's legends in their own right.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Absolutely.
So like whenever Gwar came out, because I kind of like I try to want to get the visualization. What's it kind of like the experience with Gwar? I know you're saying like they got so come on blood. There's like, do you have like a bunch of props, or because again I've never been, so can you kind of walk me through a little bit of like what they have out there, or like some of the stuff that they do?
Yeah, well, I mean, as you know, like they've all got their massive costumes and stuff that they wear and dress up like space alien kind of dudes.
Yeah,
and they it's very well choreographed, and everything kind of happens, and it's the same every night, depending on the venue. Of course, they can make it smaller or a little bit bigger, but like the way that the show actually runs is the same every night, same set list and all that sort of stuff, which is necessary if you're going to do something of that nature. But there's lots of little, like, because they're spraying stuff all over like they'll decapitate Bill Clinton. They chop Bill Clinton's head off, and then blood just sprays out all over the crowd, and it's like, and it's just like, so they've got their little hoses and they've got their tanks of fake blood that they make and stuff, and they're all like, there's the slaves are running around on stage like connecting hoses and disconnecting hoses, and,
right.
Wow. And then they have Gorgor is their like their dinosaur kind of thing that comes out, and Gorgor comes and eats people, and on this particular tour, it was kind of like the story of Gorgor, and it was like Gorgor is a little dinosaur, then got bigger, and then became this huge dinosaur, and they bring out massive Gorgor, and Gorgor comes out and eats people, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's really funny. It's like, it's kind of lighthearted, but it's also grotesque at times as well. But a lot of the shows are all over as well, so there's lots of kids there and stuff too with their parents, and everyone's wearing white t-shirts. That's the thing, you wear your white t-shirt so you get and shit. But,
nice.
I mean, that sounds like a hell of an experience. Brandon, we got to do something like that in Georgia, but with pigeons. Smaller production. We'll get there.
It's really cool just to see how like they've evolved and stuff over the years too, and made their show bigger and better, and obviously as they're making more money, that they've got more budget, that they can do better stuff, and seeing that, like, they've got a couple of books. There's a couple of books out about the history of Gwar and all the things that they've done, like since the 80s. They've been a band around for that long, and like just reading through their history and all the stuff that they've done over the years, and all the different people that have been in the band over the years. Like, my Lord, there's this family tree in one of the books. And it's like, there's hundreds of people that have been involved or part of it. And, they've got a big, like warehouse kind of space where they do all their creative stuff up there in Richmond, Virginia. And they call it the Slave Pit. And, they've got the Gwar Bar up there in Richmond as well. We went there after we played in Richmond. We went to that. It was cool.
Awesome. Awesome. Really cool. So whenever you're out and about and you're touring, I know you're back home and all. How is it? How do you balance life? I know you got a daughter. I mean, does it take a toll on you every now and then that you're away from your family and all that jazz? And how do you can keep the closest with the kids? When you're in America and then you're at home, your daughter's at home. Like, how do you balance that family life?
Well, you just do your best, and you just got to do what you got to do, right? And there's FaceTime now, which is great. And man, you just try and make the best of it, I guess. And I think for a lot of people, it's like that, like the last tour was like 6 weeks, and I think sometimes people get the perception, I know just from talking to people, that they think, we're just, because we go overseas or we go and do a tour and it's 6 weeks, they kind of get this perception because they see the videos and they see all these things happening, and they might see a few days in a row and they go, oh God, you must be on tour like all of the time, like you must be away all the time. And it's like, no, it's not all the time. It's like, I mean, we tour a bit, like we tour often, but we're not away like as much as what it might seem. We're not on tour as much as someone like Zakk Wylde, for example, who just like nonstop.
He's nonstop.
That guy is unbelievable.
Okay.
But most people see that you're on tour 2, maybe 3 times in a year, and their expectation is that every time you're on tour, it's 6 months. Like, how's he doing it? Where I think this one you had, was it 40 stops or something like that? Because you had a bunch of small ones, and then a bunch of, like, half of them were like huge events, but then you were back within 3 weeks.
Up, I think. It was 39. So it was like 39 shows all up. We were away for about 6 weeks. I think we had like maybe 5-6 days off on the whole tour. That was it. So it was pretty hectic. It was busy.
Well, I mean, for me, 39 is massive, right? Because I know what it takes to put on one show. So
Yeah.
I can't imagine jumping on a bus, the grip guys, the video guys, I mean, that's a lot of tape.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's you got something coming up too now? With you got a new tour coming up here real soon, correct?
We're doing, so we got, we're having a bit of time off at the moment. And we got a couple shows coming up in New Zealand in July.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna get back to it. We just had we've had maybe a month or so off. I think we've been almost back for a month now,
Yeah.
and not quite, maybe 3 weeks or something. And we've got a couple shows in July in New Zealand, 2 shows, Auckland and Wellington, and then we got a couple shows in August closer to home. We're not playing in Melbourne as such. We're playing in a city called Bendigo, which is a couple of hours north of Melbourne, and then we're playing in a further away regional place called Mildura, which is another 4 or 5 hours away from here, which is kind of it's a bigger regional kind of town. So we'll go and play up there and just do a couple shows, and then we're going to the UK and Europe at the end of August and all through September.
Right on, man. Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
So
I think
gotta
when I
ask you-
looked it up, the September one was the Germany and Czech.
okay.
Yeah, we're playing a festival called Get Lost Fest in Hamburg in Germany. We're playing one called Metal 2026 in Ostrava in the Czech Republic, and then we're playing at Summer Dying Loud in Poland. And then yeah, we've got a whole bunch of club shows happening in Scandinavia that haven't been announced yet, but they will be announced soon.
Hell yeah.
And then we've got, I think, 9 shows in the UK.
Okay.
Playing all over the UK, London, a bunch of the smaller cities, and
Yeah.
Glasgow up in Scotland. We're playing in
Sure.
Wales.
Sure.
Maybe going over to Ireland as well. I'm hoping we can get over to Ireland.
Oh,
That'd
wow.
be great. I think we're talking to people about that at the moment. So
Yeah.
and then there'll be a bunch of shows around Europe, club shows and stuff too. So
Yeah.
Very
So
nice. Very nice.
I got to ask you, since when the last time we talked to you, I think I may have mentioned something about the difference between the two the Americans, how they react to you guys, and opposed to people from your home. Have you noticed anything? Is it still the same kind of a feel for the people over here in the U.S. where they kind of really don't get some of the stuff that you do, or are they just really kind of like it's like welcome you? Or because I kind of feel like sometimes they don't really kind of. When I seen you guys last, it was kind of like they were looking around, and I was like, they weren't too sure about the "fuck you" and the horse you rode in on kind of a deal, and they were like, should I really be giving him the bird? And I'm like, I think he's telling you to do it, So
yeah, I think it's different every time. It just depends on who you're playing with or what's going on. When we did the Pantera tour a couple of years ago, it's like a lot of those people probably weren't familiar with us. It's a different thing, like playing with Pantera is like they're a huge band, and I wouldn't expect that a lot of those people coming to a Pantera show like that are gonna know a band like us from Australia. It wasn't to say that there was plenty of people there that did enjoy it and did like it and all of that stuff, and we won a whole bunch of people over without doubt.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I think on the Gwar tour, and there was definitely a larger concentration of people who knew who we were, and they were coming early to come and see us.
Excellent.
And a lot of people that were introduced to us on that Pantera tour as well as people that had seen us, from touring over the last decade in the US as well, so more than a decade now. But so what I noticed on this tour mostly was that people were coming out early. Like every show, pretty much, there was a massive lineup all the way around the block at every show, pretty much. And when we got on stage, we were going on stage about 7:30. The place was packed, every night. It was
Really
a great crowd.
That is
That's
awesome.
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 It is.
Yeah.
Especially when you're building your fan base even bigger than what it already is. Because then those guys that all showed up early, they're listening to everyone that came up on that stage, and they're going, hey, these guys are absolutely the ones I like. You know, they start
Mhm.
listening to it over and over and
Yeah.
over, and then you have some random lady bringing you baskets.
It's true. Yeah, but I mean, we noticed the energy was super high on this tour as well. Like there was great energy. You know, it was
Awesome.
people were ready to go, and usually after one or two songs, man, we had the mosh pit going, we had the circle pits going, we had people flying over the barrier and
Hell yeah.
sticking their fingers up, doing the "fuck you" and the horsey rodeo on
Yeah.
thing, and it was great fun, man. It was really
Hell
cool,
yeah.
and those nights by the end of it. Yeah, we'd won them over, and it was it was super cool. It was
Hey,
super fun.
awesome. That's awesome. So what if you don't mind me asking, what happened to Mr. Slats? Is he all right? Everything cool with him? He just need a little break?
Yeah. Like we toured a lot, so we usually have Slats playing bass and Mr. White, our second guitarist.
Sure.
They've been in the band for a long time, and
Yeah.
Mr. White has a family and some kids and stuff, little kids,
Yeah.
young kids, and yeah,
Okay.
he's kind of been available for some stuff, but not all of it.
Yeah.
And Slats, he just had a big year and had a lot of shit going on, and
Yeah.
you just wanted to have a break from touring for a bit, and
Cool.
and we didn't. We were kind of like, I mean,
Hell yeah.
we got like Gwar and Soulfly asking us to come on do a massive North American tour. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm doing it. We're doing this tour. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
we're gonna do this tour. Like, it's a no-brainer for me. It's like, and everyone else was on board. And when we thought about it, and we've played with other people in the band
Sure.
many times over the years to keep the ball rolling, and that's for from a business perspective, and from for the band and for the people who want to do it. We just feel like we got to keep it rolling. I mean, it's easy.
Yeah.
It'd be easy for us to go, "Oh no, we're not doing it," and then we sit at home and we don't do anything. And it's like, well, that's not what we kind of signed up for at the start. At the start we were like, we want to make a band, an Australian band that sounds Australian, that is influenced by Australian stuff, and we want to make it an international touring thing, and that's what the goal was. And,
So that's why you never take me on tour with you. Okay. I show up one day with a Spanish guitar.
Well, you know what? We actually had more American people on our tour bus this time than we had Australian people.
Wow.
There was 4 Americans and 3 Australians. So
Oh wow.
Oh,
wow.
outnumbered.
Yeah.
Outnumbered.
So we were certainly outnumbered, but it was great. It was cool, and we just.
But that also explains why you put on a few, because
eating those Reese cups.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a thing. Yeah, it was definitely a thing. But yeah, no, it was when Slats and Mr. White were kind of saying that they couldn't do this one. Well, I was like straight away thinking about Derek, because he's someone that we've known for a long, long time. We toured with him first when he played bass in Cattle Decapitation.
Yeah.
Back in 2013, I think it was, when we toured we did a big tour in Australia with Thy Art Is Murder, Cattle Decapitation, King Parrot, and Aversion's Crown.
Wow.
And that was really cool. And we became friends with the Cattle Decapitation guys on that tour. And then it wasn't long after that we had our first tour in America, like 2014, and we ended up playing 3 shows in California with Cattle Decapitation. And then we did I think the year after that we did a full North American tour with Cattle.
Sure.
So we've known Eric all that time. Then he kind of jumped out of Cattle, and then he went to fill in the Illegals, and then we've toured a lot with Phil Illegals over the years. We've done America, we've done Australia, we've done Japan, and so we've been friends. We've been really good buds for a long time, and we always like to try and go surfing when we can. If we're on tour and stuff, we'll try and hit the beach and go get a few boards if we can, go for a surf. That's always been something that we try and do. And so when and also the other aspect of it is that you can't just take an Australian person into America when you know, with the visa situation and all that. Um, it costs a lot of money to do all that shit, you know, to get the visas going and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So I was straight away thinking we need to get an American guy to fill in because
Yeah.
otherwise I'm going to pay the U.S. government another, you know, $8,000 or something like that
Yeah.
to get a visa for an Australian guy to come over, and it's so much money to do that shit. So it was a no brainer for us. We were like, I mean, Derek filled in playing bass for Pantera when Rex Brown had COVID. So
Yeah. Remember that?
there
Yeah.
wasn't really anyone that we
Yep.
could get that had better credentials than Derek.
So one of the things I failed to mention last time, and I was like, damn, I should have talked about it, and I kind of kicked myself. We didn't talk much about the newest album you guys put out, which is Young Person's Guide to King Parrot, which
Yeah.
amazing album, by the way. And
Definitely.
Absolutely.
yeah, that's
Yep.
yeah, I mean, I like, and I still trying to get the first one, Bite Your Head Off, man. And I'm like, I cannot get it anywhere, and I'm just dying to get that one. But
It's coming soon, man. It's coming soon.
oh God, I
We're
hope
doing a
so, bro.
re-release.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing a re-release like in the next
Nice.
month or two. There's going to be a Housecore are going to do it, and we're going to do it out here in Australia too. And we're going to do a repress, CD, vinyl, merch, all sorts of shit.
Yeah,
So yeah,
hell
keep an
yeah.
eye. Try out.
So,
Fuck yeah.
so when you did Young Person's Guide, where did you guys record this at? Did you come over to America and you do it at Anselmo's studio, or did you still stay in Australia?
Yeah, we did it here. So we rehearse and we rehearse at a place called Danger Tone Studios in Melbourne, and Luke Walton, the guy there, has built up a studio over the years, and he's got some incredible gear and stuff like that in there, and
Sure.
you know, we feel super comfortable at that studio, so we decided that we wanted to record it there, and you know, just being really comfortable in that environment, because we're rehearsing there all the time, made it very easy for us to go and record there. It made total sense for us just to go in, record, hang out. We always hang out there anyway.
Sure.
We're all friends, so it's like it's just a very comfortable space for us to be in. So
Yeah.
we were able to do a lot of pre-production there as well while we were writing, doing stuff like that. And he was really happy to, you know, have us be there and set up all the recording stuff while we were jamming and
Yeah.
doing all that. And so we could kind of record ideas on the fly, you know, when we were sort of formulating structures and doing all that sort of stuff. We could record and feedback and listening and growing the songs into what they eventually became. And then sort of as we went along recording, he had other projects on the go as well, but we could kind of drop in and say, hey man, I want to come and do a day of vocals today, and let's go and do that. Or we need to do some, there's a couple of little guitar overdubs that we need to do. Can we have a couple of hours here and there? And it was kind of easy in that regard. So that's where we recorded. Yeah, it was just like at the studio where we actually rehearsed. But I mean, he's got a great setup there. He's got some really good
And then
gear.
then you had the video drop in April, and my understanding was that you filmed that one at the Flippin' the Bird Festival.
Oh yeah. We dropped a video for It's a Rot. Yeah, we filmed that at we recorded that. Yeah, we recorded that at Flippin' the Bird. Yeah, it was that was a festival we played right before we left to come over to America. Yeah. So that was great. That was a cool one. That was that festival is a really cool underground kind of thing that, you know, they have like 30 or 40 bands from around Australia come and play, and sometimes there's an international or two, but we were kind of like the headliner for that one, and it was unreal, man. We wanted to play just as the sun was going down, so it was still kind of light, just for the video kind of aspect. And yeah, man, we had a ball, and we wanted to just document that, and as a cool festival to play in Australia, we just wanted to kind of document that and have that in the bank. So it was just there, you know. We can look back at it and go, that was a cool day. That was a really cool day. The crowd was
It's funny because I'm reading the article, right? Because on my phone as I'm driving to work, I kind of put my phone to just read it out loud to me while I'm driving, and it goes into all the details, and it's like, oh yeah, they had like the BTS by Josh and Dan and all this other stuff, and then it was filmed at Flipping the Bird. And naturally, Steve and I work at night. Brandon, I think you work at like midnight or something like that, right? And when I heard Flipping the Bird, I was like, he did this at a chicken restaurant? But then the word festival came up, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
It's actually a studio called Singing Bird, and our drummer Max is the engineer there, and it's it's like a rehearsal space. It's in a place called Frankston, which is kind of about an hour out of
Victoria?
Melbourne. Yeah, in Victoria. Yeah, like
Victoria?
sort of. It's about an hour. It's not. It's an hour, kind of, I guess, south from Melbourne, and yeah, it's a really cool space. They've got like 4 or 5 rehearsal rooms, a recording studio, but there's also a venue there. Like it's like a 300 capacity or 250 capacity venue. They have a lot of all ages shows there, which is a lot of international bands are going down there now because they've got such a great stage and a great setup and great lighting and all of that, and it's really well set up for shows, and they've got such a great scene down there, man. Like every time we've played down there in the last, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 years since they've been doing shows, with it's a sold out show, and there's just kids everywhere going nuts doing stage dives, and it's just a really different vibe to a lot of the other shows that we play around the country. And I specifically remember when we took Weed Eater down there for a show when they came out and toured with us in Australia, and I just remember Ramsey, the Weed Eater drummer, like he was just so taken aback by how cool it was and how fun it was, and all these kids that were there just loving Weed Eater and loving King Parrot, and they were just, it was so fucking cool. And
Yeah, because I really enjoy those behind the scene kind of videos when you're doing all this behind the scenes stuff before you're coming out to show them, what's really going on back there. And you guys did those interviews in the beginning of the video, and I'm thinking to myself now, and you don't have to answer me, or at least not answer me honestly, but were those staged or were those real people online that you guys were walking up to asking them those questions?
oh, at the start of It's a Riot.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they were just people that they were. I mean, we just went out there in the crowd at the festival with the camera, and they were just people. They were just people at the show, like they were just people at the
Nice.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we just had an idea. Like we were just trying to do something fun and easy, and something that is in line with the shit that we've done before, but just a little bit different.
Yeah. So I know you talked about recording the new album over in Australia. You have recorded at Phil Anselmo's studio, correct?
We have, yeah, we've done a few things there. We did Dead Set record there in 2015, and we did Hold Up in the Lair. We did the Hold Up in the Lair EP. We did that there as well. That was a few years later, like 2018 maybe, something like that.
So what's it like over there? I mean, I know we had fellow Hellscore artist John Jarvis from Scour come on, and he was talking about it, and he was saying like he really dug the atmosphere. So that's why I'm trying to get like everybody's perspective on it. Was it like, how was it over there? Was it pretty? Is it pretty nice over there? Is it a great setup, or
Oh yeah, it's great. I mean, I think it's changed a little bit since Pantera started up.
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
It's like they made it a bit bigger. They made the studio space a bit bigger.
Yeah.
So it's because I mean Pantera have done some pre-production stuff there, I believe.
Oh, wow.
So it's really cool now. It's really
hell yeah.
It's decked out. It's really nice, and I don't know. It's kind of strange. It's kind of strange. It's for us being from where we're from and having the opportunity to go there and having seen all the stuff that's happened there over the years, it's kind of surreal.
Yeah, yeah,
In
yeah,
a lot of ways, just think, what are we doing here? You know,
yeah,
this is crazy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I know,
I mean, we feel really comfortable there,
yeah, for
but
sure.
it's
Yeah,
always sort of not
yeah.
normal as well. It's always like,
You
wow,
know,
this is like,
yeah, because I asked, because like I watched what I forget what video it was, but I remember it was it started out with like Phil's in bed sleeping, and he looks over and Slats is in bed with him. I'm like, oh, what the hell's going on here now? Obviously the video was
yeah,
it was awesome. Like I can't even remember what song it was, but it was
it's like a rat.
it's okay, yeah, that was an awesome video. I was like, man, that's why I asked. Like, is that kind of like a look at where his house or the background of where he's at, kind of a deal?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that was all filmed out there. Yeah,
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 that was
yeah.
awesome. That was
That was,
pretty
I mean,
cool.
that was many years ago now. That was like, fuck, that was 2015,
Yeah, that was early.
I
Yeah,
think we filmed that. Like
yeah,
that was like the start of 2015. So
yeah.
yeah. We just wanted to do something. I think when we were recording out there, when we were doing Dead Set out there, we wanted
Yeah.
to make a video. So we spoke with Mike Holderbeast,
Mhm.
who's a guy that does a lot of stuff down there in New Orleans with all that crew. You know, he's always doing stuff with Crowbar and
Sure.
Corrosion of Conformity and Down, and he's a great guy. He's a great friend of ours as well, and yeah, we always love working with him whenever we get the chance to do something. Although I haven't seen him for a little bit, but
Sure.
he's done quite a few live videos for us as well, and
Nice.
obviously that
Oh
video
yeah.
too. So yeah, but I actually was talking to him the other day, and I was like, man, if we do a new record, we've got to try and do something again. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So speaking of the new stuff, do you have anything that you've written or you guys are sampling right now that you're introducing to the crowd whenever you're playing live, or are you just sticking to like, the young person's guide? Have you written
Hmm.
anything new or
Yeah, we've written like one new song.
sure.
Um, we kind of just so basically when Young Person's Guide came out, we kind of switched up drummers, and that's when we got our new guy Max Dangerfield in, and so he's been kind of getting used to being in the band, I guess,
Yeah.
and the touring and all that stuff that we do, which is, he probably hasn't been exposed to that kind of touring and stuff that we've done, um, that we do much before.
Hmm.
So we've been writing a little bit with him, but not too much. It's more been touring, and we've been pretty busy
Sure.
the last little bit, doing Australia, doing America, and then we've got Europe coming up. So we're gonna get back in the studio probably in the next couple weeks. Get ready to do these shows that we're doing in
Yeah.
New Zealand and Australia as well, and then obviously going over to the UK and Europe. So, but yeah, we got some plans to start writing and getting some new stuff going,
Hell yeah.
and pretty much after we do Europe and the UK, we've got a couple shows out here as well.
Yeah.
We want to use the summertime when the weather's good over here to spend a bit of time writing and doing all that sort of stuff, and we just want to keep that creative process flowing and
Hell
moving
yeah.
in the right direction. We want to keep continually putting out new material. That's
Yeah.
sort of something that I'd
Yeah,
like to.
that's always important.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What's involved in your writing process? How do you guys come up with your? Is it just you come up with lyrics first, or is it riffs or?
Generally riffs first. Generally
Okay.
riffs. It's been over the years we've been pretty organic as a band. It's always a pretty organic process. It's not really like, oh hey, someone just writes the song and there it is. It's always like a in the jam room, nutting it out, writing the riffs, getting the structures together like on the spot, which kind of slows the process down a little bit, I guess. But because it's like everyone's in there at the same time doing the stuff, and um, like
I think
historically, like there hasn't been a lot of writing stuff that happens outside of the studio, if that makes sense. So it's always like
yeah,
Yeah.
we're all together. So
yeah.
um,
I think the organic approach to me, I think it tends to be to come out better that way. You all have that input, that insight, and I think that's a good way to do that.
Yeah, I kind of like it too. I mean, I know a lot of bands don't do that anymore, with all the technology stuff that's available, in terms of, programming drums and doing things like at home in your home studio and stuff like that. It's so easy just to do that now.
Right.
But I think the structures and the things come out a little bit more organic when you're actually in there and you're writing and you're doing it in the room together. But that's not to say that it can't be of benefit to have a basic structure to work with in the beginning. Like
Right. Right.
that can
Right.
also be helpful. And once you get in there and start jamming it out, you might be like, oh, how does that feel? It always feels different when there's actual people, different people doing it, as
Yes.
opposed to, like, when you've got a
Yeah.
real drummer, it's always different to when you've got someone's, it's just programmed drums. And even
Yeah.
even with the guitars and the way that the leads go, and even the bass stuff, it's like the bass stuff can make a huge difference to a structure or the way things sound. And
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
That is true.
yeah. So
Okay. Okay.
So, Matt, do you have
so
any
yeah.
plans, or before I even ask that, what can we as fans expect from the new material that's going to come out? What can we expect from the new King Parrot when you do start writing it and you get it out there? What can the fans expect from the new material?
Well, I think that the dynamic in the band's changed. Like whenever you change a drummer, which is such an integral part of the band, like it changes everything. And so this is going to be. I feel like we're going to kind of lean back towards more like the bite your head off kind of stuff, because our new drummer Max is like, he's much more that kind of drummer that
Sure.
we had on that first record. So the drummer on the first record was Matt Rizzo, who used to play in Blood Duster
Yeah.
and played in a few other Aussie bands. And he's got this swing and this feel that, is pretty amazing. He's a real drummer. Like he's got this feel that
Yeah.
you just can't replicate. And then when he left the band early days, like he left really early, we got Todd, who was a completely different kind of style drummer. He's a very fast drummer.
Sure.
He played in the Australian band the Berserker, and
Okay.
he was, so it changed the vibe of the band completely, really, with the way that he played. And then, as we were kind of going along through our journey, we've done a few records with Todd, and he played on Young Person's Guide as well. And but I think we might have spoken about when he departed the band, and that he lives up in Queensland, and it was kind of very difficult making it work for all those years together. And we decided to split.
Sure.
We wanted to kind of go back to that feel of what we had on the first record, and we
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
to try and get a drummer that could play that way,
Yeah.
in that style, so that we could, for us, for the guys that have been in it the whole time, it's always been about the the feel and the groove and all of that sort of stuff,
Sure.
but also offsetting that with the more intense blasting stuff, and being able to fall back into that groove is
So what?
what makes Parrot so intense.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what do you feel
Yes.
the turnaround
Agreed.
time is to kind of get adjusted or is it something that you guys just have to keep getting together until everyone feels comfortable?
Well, I think the touring stuff helps. The touring stuff has really helped, because the way that the band is now is, it feels so tight, and so like the way that Max is playing the drums now has changed all of the way that the songs are that we wrote with Todd. All those songs that we
Yeah.
wrote with Todd sound completely different now. They've got a different feel now, and I mean, they're still the same songs, sure, and but for us, it's a completely different experience having someone that plays that way as opposed to someone that plays that way. And so we've become really comfortable. We've played a lot of shows. Like last year, we played 100 shows. This year, we've play. I don't think we're gonna. We probably won't make 100 shows, but we'll probably play like 70 or 80 shows.
Sure.
And like, you can't fucking replicate that shit. Like,
Right.
you can't replicate that anywhere. Like, that's, you only get that tight and that familiar with each other from touring and playing every day, setting up, doing it, hanging out together, being in each other's faces all the time, and being up there under
Yeah.
pressure, on stage, in front of an audience. Like that, there's nothing that can replicate that. And I
That's
remember
when it
some.
starts to become more organic, and you guys start to flow
Right.
with each other. I've been trying to get Brandon to let me go ahead and join his band with the congas, but he keeps telling me no. It's like,
Come on. I was like, we just added a member, so
Yeah, yeah.
oh, did you?
Oh,
we
it might
just
be
added a
another
second
opening for
guitarist.
Congos. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
He may let
Someone
me up
once
on the
said to
stage,
me,
but he'll never put a mic next to the congas. That way you could hear him. It's just me up there just banging.
Hey, I'm good with it.
So, we,
I grew up with Sepultura and Soulfly.
yeah.
yeah,
I'm
right.
good with
Yeah,
that. Like, come on.
done.
Oh, yeah.
You might have got a guy that just uses a fucking beer keg, right? He just bangs a beer
There you
keg.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
that's a phenomenal idea.
There's a
Yeah.
gig.
Now don't take that and use that for your next video. Now.
Yeah.
So,
Going back to what we were saying though, like I was just gonna say, someone once said to me that, playing one show is as good as 10 rehearsals. And
Yeah.
that's always stuck with me since
yeah.
I was a kid. I think it was used to play in a band with these brothers when I was younger, and their dad actually said it to us because he was a muso as well. And he goes, "One gig's as good as 10 rehearsals," and I was like, "That's pretty cool," because like especially when you're younger. And you feel you get so nervous when you're going up on stage, and you're like, "Oh, fuck!" But you develop that confidence to be on stage.
Right.
And I used to play a lot of shows when I was younger. It was like, yeah, it was kind of like that kind of push me to want to play live more. So
Yeah.
get better, get more comfortable. You can see when someone's nervous on stage, right? You can see when someone's not
Oh
comfortable.
yeah,
Sure.
and it changes the energy. It absolutely changes the
Sure.
energy because and
Yeah,
I'll give
that's
you
right.
today as an example where I was playing a certain type of line dance music. Now, do I have an entire like 18 songs I can play? Yeah, but then I have people coming up to me, and there's two things I really dislike. One, if you have a request and you want me to stop mid song to play your song. It's like, as the DJ, I should be allowed to poke you in the eye so you can't see what I'm doing. Go away. you know? And the second thing is every now and again when I have to step away, somebody touching my equipment. I absolutely hate people touching my stuff. It irks me so much. But going out there and playing the music for the people and making sure that they're enjoying, what they're doing. If my energy is off, my selections of song are off, the energy on the floor just completely goes to shit.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Matt, I got to ask you this too. I know we were talking about touring. Are you gonna make your way back to the States this year, or is that going to be postponed to probably next year?
Yeah, I think it's going to probably be next year. We're looking at some options, but it's going to be unlikely that we get back there this year now that we've got this Europe and UK
Yeah,
stuff.
for sure. Yeah.
And like we got to get our visas happening again. So, but we're talking about it with some different people, and there's nothing locked in yet.
Yeah.
But we got to go through that whole process of doing the visas again, and get all that moving, and then from there we will we'll hopefully be able to lock some tours in. Hopefully be able to. I think the visa processing thing's taking a little longer than usual at the moment for reasons. But hopefully next summer we'll be back. Yeah, and we'll be maybe even have some new stuff. Hopefully.
Hell yeah.
No, Steve said he's gonna fly you in on his account, so don't worry about the price.
Okay.
You gotta be.
He has a new place, and he can't wait to get you guys down there.
Yeah. Well, if you come over here, I'll tell you what. If you come down to Florida, I got you covered. I pay for your food. I got you covered. You might get a little. You might get a little heavy. The fat guy talking about food, but I got you covered. Yeah.
It's cool. Man, we actually love Florida, man, and it's always been great for us down there. And it's just a shame that like sometimes the tours just don't get to go down there.
Oh, yeah.
And but in 2023, I believe we played a few shows down there, and our tour manager on the last tour, Greg, runs a place called Nice Guys Pizza down in Cape Coral, and he's an awesome guy, and we love Greg, and we want to go down there and hang out with him. So.
Oh yeah, I know. I read some. I know whenever the Gwar tour was announced, and I think one guy was like, "Oh," some guy commented, "He's like, oh, you're not coming here," and yeah, I think one of the comments was like, we're coming all the way from Australia. Just imagine how far we got to travel. And I'm like, that makes complete sense, dude. Get in your car, go drive and see these guys. Because look, I had 3 opportunities, but I mean, every event was like I had just got on this new line over at the hospital, so I changed my assignment or my schedule, and I was like, okay, cool, it'll free up a few days, and it went right to the days you guys are playing. I'm like, you cannot make this shit up. I've been trying to go see these guys, so but I've always felt like if you want to see these guys, you're going to travel, and I was like, that guy who said that, I'm like, get out of here, man. If you want to see them, go see these guys,
At the very least, if you guys can't make it to Florida, go back to Savannah.
Yeah,
if possible, because that would,
Yeah, well, to put it into perspective, right? Like when we finished the tour, we finished in Charlotte in North Carolina, right?
Yep.
So we were in Charlotte. We played the show. We had to do all our logistic shit, pack everything up, get a truck, put all our shit in the truck, take that back to storage, all that sort of stuff. And then we flew home from Charlotte the very next day after the last show.
Wow.
Yeah, so we were at Charlotte Airport, and then we basically spent all day flying across America. So we went from Charlotte to Denver, and then we hung out in Denver for a bit, hang out at the lounge, and then we flew from Denver to San Francisco.
Yeah.
And so we spent all day flying, and then we got on the flight to Australia. It was like 15 hours. We spent all day traveling on planes and shit, and then we got to San Francisco, and I think at 11 o'clock at night we got on the plane from San Francisco to Melbourne, which was 15 hours.
Oh yeah, damn, that's awesome. Yeah,
it's such a crazy flight, and it fucks your body clock, and especially after doing 6 weeks of shows, and then jumping on doing all that travel to get home. It's certainly taken, a good 2 or 3 weeks just to kind of start feeling normal again, somewhat.
And then take off again.
Yeah, right.
So, Jose, do you got anything for him? Because I still have a really good question I need to ask that we always finish with. And
I was going to say go for it, because I think a lot of
it's probably the single-handedly most important question that we have, and too bad Dave's not here for this one. But Brandon, I want to see if you got anything you'd like to ask Mr. Matt Young real quick.
I mean, really, it's about the writing process.
Okay.
I mean, I still go back to I still remember getting suspended from school for my Back to the Primitive shirt back in the day, man. I'm just being able to, you guys being able to tour with Soulfly, that's unreal to me.
Yeah.
That was always one of my favorite bands.
Yeah. So, man, and they're such cool people too. Like Max is amazing. Gloria is amazing.
Yeah.
They don't hang out so much, but the boys in the band, like Zion and Chase from Warbringer, is playing bass for them now. He's an amazing guy, and Mike DeLeon is my brother for many, many years, and so we got a real super tight bond with those guys. And even just when we first met Max back in the day, and Max actually asked me to do some backing vocals on a song that appeared on the Archangel record, and and so I did that years ago, and it was one of the first times I really met him, and he came out to a show that we played with Weed Eater in Phoenix back in 2015, I think it was, and then and he came, and Max came and brought all the kids along, and Zion and Igor were there, and all the tribe, and he grabbed me. He's like, "Matt, come with me, man. I want to show you this song." And we'd organized that I was going to get recorded in LA. Next day after the Phoenix show at their producer's place, and he's like, "Matt, come with me, brother. We come out to my car, and I put it up in stereo." And I'm like, "Fuck, all right." I'm just sitting in the car with Max Cavalera, fucking cranking this shit on this new Soulfly record, and he's singing the song with me and him, just sitting in the car, and he wrote the lyrics out for me on a piece of paper, and I'm like, "What the fuck's going on?" Insane, this is incredible, I got to write my own verse. So basically the next day while we were driving from Phoenix or like we kind of drove overnight after the show, really, and we drove out to the producer's place, and I just wrote the lyrics in the car, in the van, on the way out
Wow.
there, and then we rocked up to the producer's place, and I just laid the vocals down that day, and that was that,
Yeah.
So yeah,
Nice.
surreal, man. Really, strange, surreal shit that's happened to us over the years.
Yeah.
Those kind of connections that we've made, and yeah, it's fucking incredible,
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we're just always super grateful for those kind of experiences that we've been able to have along the way.
Absolutely.
So this is the most important question I got to ask you. And damn it, Dave, I'm sorry you're not here, but I know you're going to watch this. So I've got to ask, who do you prefer? Do you prefer Metallica or Pantera?
Well, I mean, that's a tough question, That's a tough question. I mean,
It always
I love
is.
Metallica too. I love Metallica as well, but I like just in terms, like I like my favorite Pantera record is Great Southern Trendkill because I just
Nice.
love more extreme stuff.
Yeah.
That's more my cup of tea. So when like songs like Suicide Note Part 2 and Hell's Wrath, Living Through Me, and all those kinds of like songs like Slaughtered off Far Beyond Driven, they're my favorite Pantera songs.
Yeah.
And so for me, like I like stuff that goes a little bit further. And I feel like Pantera went a little bit further on that record. They really kind of just they fucked shit right up on that record.
Yeah, they did.
Some of the lyrics and some of the stuff on there, I feel is like Philip's best stuff.
Yeah.
Especially
Agreed.
the lyrics on that song. Well, Suicide Note Part 2 is absolutely brutal.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
one of my favorite Pantera songs is Hell's Wrath, Living Through Me, Like the riffs in that song are
Yeah.
fucking incredible. The vocals are incredible, and some of the lines, it's just filthy shit. And I love that. I was saying to Philip, I'm like, man, you guys should be playing that fucking song live. That
Yeah.
wow.
It sounds like you got your answer, Steve.
Yeah.
I'll be like, man, that's a fucking great song. And so I would say, like, growing up, like, I loved Metallica, don't get me wrong. They were like one of the first heavy bands that I ever got into, but I kind of, when I was like about 14 years old, Pantera were hitting their peak, and
Yes.
and Far Beyond Driven came out, and it was like that had a bigger impact on me personally.
Yeah.
As a young kid, getting into that sort of music, watching, coming home from school every day, watching Vulgar Video, it just felt
Vulgar
like there
Video.
was the way I used to watch that every fucking day.
Every
after
day,
school.
yeah, man.
Every day, man, without fail. I loved that shit. And Pantera were on primetime television back in the day. Like,
Yes.
on video, you used to have this show called Video Smash Hits in Australia. And I distinctly remember watching it because occasionally they would play a heavy metal song, and fucking I'm Broken comes on, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, this is the shit I'd ever seen on TV. And but that being said, like Slayer and Sepultura too was like some of the first stuff I heard that was heavier, that had a big impact on me. So I got to give those guys a shout out, of course. But
So you mentioned Far Beyond. So for me, Far Beyond Driven was, to me, I felt like, I know Vulgar was what I was introduced to Pantera. And I remember I'd seen a little bit of Cowboys growing up, because they didn't get a lot of play on Headbangers when I was 11 years old, I think. And then I remember seeing Walk on Headbangers Ball, which that brought me into fold, because at the time that was not nothing that was been played at the time. And then, like you said, you see I'm Broken, that Far Beyond Driven, I'm like, wow, what the fuck is this? And you listen to the whole album. I could press play from the start into the end, and it does. I'd be lying if I said I skipped a track. I don't skip a track. Like, you can play it. It's almost like a perfect album. And that being said, do you remember the first cover of Far Beyond Driven?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That's like I saw it. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta have it because I have the other one, and I
Yeah,
was like, I just seen it. I'm like, oh, I gotta get it. I gotta get it. So.
Right.
I just can't wait for him to put all these on display and see how it's going to look in his new house.
Yeah, dude. Well,
Yeah.
I got my little area back here now, so it's I got an area over to my left here that I'm gonna start putting everything up. So it's a work in progress. So it was a hell of a
It
move.
always is with the house. It always is.
Yeah, man.
It always is.
Broke my back this weekend. Jesus Christ. But Matt, well, I appreciate you coming on again, man. It's always a pleasure. Have you come
It is.
on. We do appreciate you. And we had, a matter of fact, just so much let you know, we've had a lot of love down here for you guys. We had a guest on named Lex Staley from Lex and Terry in the morning. He's been on for 30 years. He's interviewed everybody from Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Pantera, all of them. And I was like, have you heard of King Parrot? And he sat there and wrote it down. You know what I mean? And he listens to you now. So
Great.
yeah, man. So you're getting a lot of love over here now. We've been spreading the word. So like I said, again, thank you very much for coming on the show. We really do appreciate your time. I know it's very valuable, so much love to you. So
much appreciated, guys.
Yeah.
I'm super grateful. Like to come on and chat to you guys, and I appreciate the support that you've given us.
Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah.
All right. Well, as always, guys, tell somebody you love them and keep it metal.
Take care, boys. Have a good day.
Take care.